So now we have a quite interesting presentation, and I can guarantee for that, so please stay here with us, because in a football, clubs spend millions searching for a talent, yet some of the greatest competitive advantages may already exist within their own development system. Our next speaker has spent more than 2 decades designing talent pathways, development structures, and a football ecosystem that help players reaching their full potential. Please welcome to the stage Igor Janković. Give one round of applause for him. Thank you.
My name is Igor Janković, and for the past 25 years, as Nina said, I'm involved in developing different football projects. One of my great concerns is also this region, my country, but also former Yugoslavia. Did any of you here ever met or heard of the player, 16, 17-year-old, that was a really prosperous, promising player that you would say, this one can't fail, but failed? Have you ever seen any or come across the player that you trusted will succeed, but actually failed? Can you raise your hand? So, let's say many of you, not most of you, but many of you. So basically that's what I want to address in this masterclass is the development gap. Okay, so football does not miss a talent. There is no shortage of talent, but football has development conversion problem. And that is one of the facts that many players are not making it to their full potential. I will speak also about the context. Context is very important. If we speak about any topic, any issue, we have to put everything in the context. So here, I will speak in the context of the former Yugoslavia, and that will be former Yugoslav republics. And that will be my main focus, just for you. So, geography is important, so we know where we have the focus. We speak about Western Balkans, former Yugoslav republics, and yeah, these are the countries that are actually creating a huge impact for decades in the global market. And since ever, there were great players coming from this specific region, which is small, but has a great global talent footprint. The region has consistently produced really great players, some of the best, representing also being represented in the FIFA's world team, and you can recognize the guys here. I mean, they are all relevant, but as Andy Barra said, maybe this will not be the case anymore in the future, and that's what we are addressing here right now. So the market is such actually that combined former Yugoslav republics, which is the countries all over from Slovenia down to North Macedonia, are actually creating the second largest region in the world with the players playing abroad. So export region. So the second largest. Maybe you didn't know that, but you can see that Serbia and Croatia are really making the most of it, but also the other smaller countries. When we speak about movement of players, it is important to say that the region is actually divided. We have 2 EU countries, Croatia and Slovenia, and the rest is non-EU countries. So this is affecting the movement of players. The EU citizenship in Serbia is 35 to 40%, while in Bosnia and Herzegovina 65 to 70%. This is making it much easier for the players from Bosnia and Herzegovina and Serbia to move to the Western Europe and to access the labor market in the EU. When we speak about big leagues, the players from the region, they represent quite a huge number of players in the big 5 leagues. Since a couple of years ago, about 100 players were represented. Now it's a little bit less, so there is a little decline. So the opportunity is to convert more of it into sustainable professional value, even more, and that is possible. Of course, it requires action. So there is the paradox in the market. Actually, football pays a premium for the finished players, but underinvests in the environments that create them. And that's what Andy Barra mentioned also. So today we have a lot of tools, a lot of technology. We can identify players. It was never easier. And it will be easier and more accessible in the future, in Africa, elsewhere, here. You will have real-time data on every player, and there will be a little space to miss. Transfer fees and salaries reward proven performance a lot, but still there is a failure of transiting players from 16 to 21, and it is understructured and underdeveloped. So when we speak about value conversion phase, it is the phase between 15, 16 and 21. As we mentioned, even with 18 years of age, some players are too old to access some sophisticated markets and clubs. And this is the phase where players are either too old for youth football or either too young and not prepared for the senior football. They are attractive to agents and foreign clubs, but they are vulnerable to wrong club, wrong timing, wrong role, and wrong expectations. This is all that is actually either multiplying the value or destroying the value. And this is the most sensitive period of the player's development. There are many studies, and it is measurable. We can actually put this all in numbers and say that 70% do not receive professional contracts, never. For example, in UK, 97% of players never make to the top flight in the UK, and so on and so forth. Relative age effect is also another issue to discuss. So many issues are there that are preventing conversion of that value. So, if we speak about underdogs and wasted talents phenomena, you also know about that. So, either there are players that are overvalued too early, or maybe there are players undervalued because they are maturing later. So, these are the issues that are actually affecting also conversion of the players' value into something which is sustainable and long-term value, not only for the clubs, but for the sport, for the national teams, for the players and their families. So, the real question is, why do clubs produce talent they are afraid to trust? I will give you just a couple of examples. You recall Feyenoord, some 10 years ago, due to the fair play regulations, financial fair play regulations, they were not allowed to register new players. So they were forced to play with the youth team players, with the players from the youth team. And basically that was the time that they have created tremendous value for the club by developing their own players. And it is proving the case that club should be less reluctant to rely on their own academy players, and they should actually go forward. So I came across this poll. It was done by Federico Mari on LinkedIn, and just in connection to the success of the under-17 team of Italy, they won They won the Euro in Estonia. And he asked the question, where are Italy's future stars disappearing? Is it lack of playing time, academies chase wins, or is it clubs fear young talent, or is the system is broken? And you see that 50% of 300 and more people, they answered, and these are people from the industry. These are not just any people. These are people like you and me involved deeply in the industry. They answered that the system is broken, 50%. 25% almost said that clubs fear young talent, and that's the majority of votes. So we have the problem. So where value is lost, where do we lose value? So as we mentioned, either it is a wrong club, either it is a wrong timing, it can be a wrong level, competitive level, there are no clear roles, or maybe no transition over, or there is no recovery plan in case there is failure with the transfer or with the loan. So this is where the value is lost. And sometimes value is lost when the move is better designed than the pathway. And it is better designed because the monetary compensation comes before everything else. And it is short-term goal. The long-term goal would be to actually look better about the design of the pathway that will enable a long-term value to be actually revolved through several transfers and through successful players' career. So, conversion strategy determines whether talent becomes value, and that is important. We speak about environments, and what makes a performance environment? Well, it is playing time at the right level for the player to grow. So we need to put gradual load to the player so that he is exposed to the load gradually, to grow properly, to prevent him from burnout, to prevent him from injuries, mental burnout, to make him develop the systems from within to protect himself from the pressure that is coming as the load is rising. So it is also tactical learning, psychological safety, mentoring and mentorship are very important. So when you place the player into some environment, you must provide mentorship and good adaptation. Alignment between player, family, agent and club is also very important, as in life. So the environment converts talent into value, and that's what we are talking about. We need environments to protect the value. So, what closes the development gap? Know-how, integrity, character, ecosystem. What closes the development gap? I will start with the know-how, and where the know-how comes from. It comes from the clubs, it comes first and most from the coaches and from the environment. So Miljan Miljanic is one of the most prominent coaches from this region. He was coach of Real Madrid. He's here, he's talking with De Bosque. And what he said at his lectures, he said, copying is prohibited. Comprehension is required. We have more and more coaches. They are copying. They do the sessions. They are involved in the process without profound understanding. And that's what we need. We need innovators, coaches that understand profoundly the processes, methodologies. Rinus Michels, he is one of the most famous inventors. He invented total football in the Netherlands. And one of his players was Johan Cruyff. So, what he said, methods may differ, but selecting the right method is the essence of coaching. So it means that you must understand as a coach. Coaches need to be trained and developed so they understand what method, what tool to use in order to bring the best to the player. Johan Cruyff said, coaching is about observing. If we speak about coaches, we have novice coach, beginners, intermediate coaches, advanced coaches. What will a beginner coach offer to the player? A beginner coach will offer everything he knows and he doesn't know. He will put everything on the table and he will offer it. Intermediate coach will actually grow, mature, and he will offer what he knows. But advanced coach, what do you think? What advanced coach will offer to the player? Time? Yes, of course. But the advanced coach will offer to the player what player needs the most in order to grow, to achieve the next phase in the development. And among other things, it is the playing time, it is the right level, and many other things. We move to Pep Guardiola. Why we move to Pep Guardiola? Because there is connection between Rinus Michels and between Johan Cruyff and Guardiola. When Guardiola was 19 years of age, he was in Barcelona Academy. And Johan Cruyff needed a player in the team. He was 19 years of age. He approached academy coaches and asked them about Pep Guardiola. You know what they said? They said, he's too slow. And Johan Cruyff said, well, I will put him on the pitch, starting 11, next game, because he is smart, he is clever, he has fantastic technical skills, and he can cover that lack of speed with all his intelligence and technical mastery. And this is how Pep Guardiola became the player. Of course, he got the chance. And someone was there who was observing. So to observe, you need to have skills, understanding, profound understanding of the game. It is like a puzzle, and put the right puzzle in the place. So that's what Johan Cruyff did. And then he became a coach. And where is the connection between Rinus Michels, the innovator, Johan Cruyff, the student of the Rinus Michels, and also someone who got his philosophy and ethos on the pitch later on and transferred it all the way to Pep Guardiola. Three of them are innovators and very impactful coaches. So that's what we need. Such coaches we need to create good environments for players to grow. So depending on the environment, there are different journeys. Same lesson, pathway design matters. So if we speak about pathway design, Luka Modric is example of progressive pathway and loan value. It was fantastic in his case. Like Nemanja Vidic, he made domestic consolidation before elite jump. Both of them started in local clubs. Then they joined the most prominent academies. Then they were loaned to some smaller clubs in the appropriate divisions. They consolidated. They were back to their teams, Dinamo and Red Star respectively. And then they were transferred internationally. And they endured. And Luka Modric is enduring still today because it was a very smooth and good progression. We have also some unfortunate cases with regards to transition. It is Filip Janković from Red Star. He was one of the big players, 16, 17-year-old. He made his debut with 16 years of age in the first team of Red Star. But then there was a really poor transition ownership that messed up whole his career. So he was the future star, but his career was messed up just due to poor transition ownership. And that is very important also to have in view when we speak about players. So managing the environment, not just managing the player. So you, as agents and people of influence, you can influence also the clubs, because the clubs are the source where you come to actually get the player to the market. I will just say a couple of words about the landscape of the former Yugoslavia, or these countries that were part once upon a time in the past. So players actually leave too early. Clubs lose development control. They lose also the value because they sell them too early. Families and they chase opportunities. Domestic leagues are often lack structure and support for the players, and value is captured in the other markets elsewhere. So this region is great in exporting talent, but it imports the cost of weak pathways. Let me move further. So there are numerous barriers to that. One of the barriers is a system barrier. As we mentioned here, there are numerous reasons why players are leaving, and among which system. Then decision barriers, poor decisions are also affecting the good conversion of value. Then social barriers. Players are expected from their families or community. There are too big expectations for them, and it is posing a lot of pressure for them to make good decisions or to be patient. And there are also player barriers. So players are also coming under the pressure over the time. So there is mental burnout, physical burnout, and a poor mentorship. So they are making poor decisions. If we speak about factors that are affecting the gap and the conversion of value, it is also the loans and timing. So if the loan is good, it is a good playing level, it will provide good minutes for the player and good development, good mentorship, etc. It's also the timing, whether he is coming in the summer or winter, because summer is a developmental window. It provides for the player to adapt, and there is enough time for the club and the coach to find him a proper place and to adapt him to the game. But in the winter period, it's usually pressure. It is either survival or it is chasing the titles, positions for the Europe or any other competition. And basically, this is something which is posing high risk to the player. Who can survive the winter windows are players like Haaland. He can survive because he's a strong guy and he managed to survive 2 transfer windows. And he was coping very good with that. But you can see that he is really, really tough. If you have a fragile player which needs more adaptation time, it can be really a disaster and it can destroy the value of the player. So we come down also to the parents and responsibility. Many influence the move of the player, many, but too few own the outcome. And the outcome is usually, in case of negative result, mostly suffered by the player. Parents may influence the decision. It is also the scouts, the agents, coaches, or sports directors. They are influencing, but somebody needs actually to take the responsibility for the player, as the player will carry positives and negatives on his shoulders, whatever happens in the future. So to ensure the good conversion of the value, there must be a plan A, there must be plan B, plan C. Are we good with the time? Are we behind?
We do have a couple of more minutes.
We have a couple of more minutes. Okay, so always before placing the player or loaning the player, create plan A. If in case it goes bad, have a plan B and have a plan C. That's very important. So I will show the solution, closing the development gap. This is basically Krasnodar Football Club, and in 2012 they started from scratch. It was a new club. There was another club in Krasnodar, Kuban, and basically they decided to build their own environment, and that's what we are talking about. We need to build environments to develop the players. Academy developed its own grassroots base, and they have 8,500 boys in 25 affiliated foundation schools from under 6 to under 12 in the entire Krasnodar region, or Krasnodarska Oblast. They have then their boarding program with 13 teams, 250 boys, 37 coaches, and then they end up with Krasnodar second team or B team under 19 to under 21 with 22 players. This is how they actually create their own value. They are not importing the players into the academy, they are developing alone. And the investment logic behind that is that it is cheaper to develop, it's better environments, reduced wasted talent, and it's a better transition planning that protects the transfer value, etc., etc. So the owner of the club in 2012, he said our objective is that within the coming years, over 50% of Krasnodar first team squad will consist of academy graduates. They made the history of the Russian football in 2022. In the game with CSK Moscow, they had 11 homegrown players on the pitch simultaneously during the second half. So you can see just in 10 years' time. Today, they have a squad of 120 million. Krasnodar, 120 million in the transfer market, 135 million the value of the players that are coming from Krasnodar Football Club. So the opportunity model is identify, develop, expose, convert, protect, and monetize. Don't come with monetization in front of all of this, because that is the mistake. You know, running after monetization and neglecting all other important steps, so to actually create even greater value and to convert the value for the future. And the recommendations are to know the player beyond their performance, to match the player to the environment, not only to the name of the club, because many kids, they just look the name of the club, they don't look actually how they will grow in certain environment, or whether that environment and that very club with a great name will actually prevent them and close their pathway. Define the role before the move, and appoint the transition owner. It is very important, someone who's going to take the responsibility, and of course, build the mitigation plans. And final message is the next market advantage will belong to those who develop talent best. And this is a squad of Barcelona with 11 homegrown players on the pitch in the season 12-13. They played away, they won 4-0. And yeah, you can actually develop the value from within, create your own environment and develop the value. There we can save a lot of value and convert that value. So stop only scouting talent, but start building environments that convert it. So we have the tools, now we can scout the players. What we miss, we can have the best plan, but without good coaches and without good managers, we lose the value and the players. So basically, we need knowledgeable and skillful teachers, coaches that can actually preserve and convert the value on the long run. So if you have any questions,
feel free to ask.
For you.
Do we have any questions from the audience for Igor Janković, perhaps? Thank you very much. I hope you really enjoyed this wonderful presentation. Igor, thank you very much for your sharing your experience and expertise. Is there anything you would like to add, to give advice and so on? I would like maybe to ask you also in the way that you're pointing out for the youth talents, coaching also, that's very important, what we can do if we have a great talent but not enough capable coach of itself.
We can actually enlighten and shed the light on that problem. It is not the issue to be solved in the coffee shops or with friends. It is something which is actually substantial. It is providing a foundation for the future of sport, and it relies solely on coaches, because the coaches are lanterns, where they're the first contact point with parents and with players. As they are more skillful, the players are going to become better. And it is not only teaching kids to kick the ball, it is also teaching them many other skills that are essential and relevant for achieving a good sporting career or career in sport. So we need actually people with a good vision to lead. As we say, a blind cannot guide the blind. We need people with really good skills to lead the way and to create that new value.
Thank you very much. Give one more round of applause. We have just one question from the audience. We're going to give a microphone, and then we are going for another speaker.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. I would like to ask just one thing. How do you estimate the sponsors or potential owners landscape in Serbia that could potentially sign up for such a project that you're describing, like Krasnodar or any other?
Thank you.
Krasnodar, thank you for the question. Krasnodar is just one example that basically somebody with a huge amount of money could have invested, and it was well aligned with the national association, with the government, with the local government, and the investor. So it was a well designed move. But you can make alliances, and you can actually create ecosystems within the ecosystem and actually manage to convert the value. So you can have a couple of clubs that can create a strategy plan, and they can collaborate. Even if they're on different levels, they can collaborate, and they can actually work together to preserve as many players as possible and to convert them into the future value for the club, but also for the player and for the future of the national teams. I'm afraid that this is possible everywhere. This is possible everywhere. It just requires institutions or individuals to recognize commercial value in it, and somebody who is ready to invest a considerable amount of money and to take a considerable risk. But for sure, that risk will be paid off. There is huge inflation of salaries for the players, and the value of the football market is growing. And that is something which is actually providing some confidence for any investor to come, because this region here is a gold mine. Where you should put the jewelry stores. You will, if you put them close to the gold mine, then you can make a good business.
Thank you.